Hello everyone, it's Ty Slatter and welcome back to another edition of GTA's ISO Mode. If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to GTA Sports on YouTube. Follow GTA Sports Network on all social media platforms. You can also check out TySlatter.com for more sports updates. Let's talk about the elephant in the room in the WNBA. Let's talk about what Napheesa Collier said about Cathy Engelbert, the WNBA Commissioner.
I have prepared a statement that I would like to make before taking any questions. All right. So first of all, I'd like to congratulate the Mercury for advancing to the finals. And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders. Sorry, I had to walk here in my boot. I'm kind of out of breath. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results than this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating. And it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world. But right now, we have the worst leadership in the world. If I didn't know exactly what the job entailed, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. But unfortunately for them, I do. We serve a league that has shown they think championship coaches and Hall of Fame players are dispensable, and that's fine, it's professional sports. But I will not stand quietly by and allow different standards to be applied at the league level. Thank you.
In saying that they have the worst leadership in the world. All right, so let's break that down. She's saying that the commissioner's not doing her job, and she wanted to put her on blast in her exit interview at the end of the season. She also addressed the officiating, the inconsistency of calls, penalties, All things that need to be addressed. Here's the thing that people need to understand. The WNBA did not have this many eyes on it just 2-3 years ago. So whatever Cathy Engelbert would say or do pretty much was swept under the rug. Keep in mind, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA because they cover their costs because the WNBA is at a loss of at least $10 million per season. So that being said, when you're a league that doesn't generate income, what happens behind closed doors doesn't really get out to the public. But when you have a Caitlin Clark, an Angel Reese, an Asia Wilson, Napheesa, and players of that ilk that are going into the pantheon of greatness in basketball, especially for women, making history, right? Eventually, people in the front office are going to get exposed for being terrible at their job. There have been complaints about Cathy Engelbert for years. Now, I've had the pleasure of covering the Indiana Fever when they were terrible, way before Caitlin Clark. And Cathy Engelbert came into a mess of a company, of a league. It was already a mess before she came. So she inherited a mess, and now she is the face of that same mess. But the problem is there are way more cameras on everything she does. She's under the microscope of the public opinion. It comes down to it, what's being said about Engelbert is to those who were in the know, we already knew this was coming. Thing is, there were no cameras involved before. And she took a private conversation and made it public. Now, some could say they didn't like how, Napheesa did that. But here's the thing, too. If you want change and you want evolution, somebody has to be, I don't want to call her a martyr of the league, but somebody has to take that momentum and say, I want change. So I'm going to say something that people may not like. I'm going to take a stance that's an unpopular opinion or unpopular stance and go against the grain. With her saying that, wow. Because even Minnesota's coach said what she said and, got suspended, that last game that they got eliminated. Cheryl Reeve, her quote that they got for her was saying that the leadership to deem those 3 referees semifinal playoff worthy is effing malpractice. You know what I'm saying? So for her to say that, now her statement in response to what Collier said was let me start from the top. I have the utmost respect for Napheesa Collier and for all players in WNBA. Together we have worked tirelessly to transform this league. My focus remains on ensuring a bright future for players in the WNBA, including collaborating on how we continue to elevate the game. I am disheartened with how Napheesa characterized our conversations in league leadership, but even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to the players to this work will not waver. What they don't put in this particular article is what she said about Caitlin Clark, saying, essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have a direct quote in front of me, that she's lucky she's in the WNBA or she wouldn't be making the $16 million that she makes outside of the WNBA. The reason why this quote is so disrespectful, because $16 million is, hey, listen, I can use $16 million right about now, all right? You would look at a whole different GTA studios with $16 million. Okay, why it's disrespectful is that Caitlin Clark was making money, millions. She was making multi-millions at Iowa before she even got drafted. And then her contract for the W, I don't even think it's $100,000. Her rookie contract was peanuts compared to what she's making off the court. And that's the problem with all the players. The ones that are highly touted, the Angel Reeses, the Caitlin Clarks, the Asia Wilsons, as I mentioned before, they make millions off the court, outside the league. Cathy's mindset is they're making those millions because of the W, which is completely false. And it's a disconnect. It lets the world know on a grandstand that she's out of touch with reality. And the reports have already came out, multiple sources, that she will step down as commissioner once they finalize this new collective bargaining agreement that they're currently going back and forth and they're at a standstill, which could potentially lead to a league lockout next season that I've been predicting for the last 2 years. But I want to know your thoughts below on what you think about Cathy Engelbert as the commissioner. Has she done a good job? Do you agree with her stance? Do you feel like Collier was right for calling her out on her exit interview? What's your thoughts on what's going on in the W and what can be done to make it right? Comment your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to GTA Sports Network. GTA Sports on YouTube. You can follow me at Ty Slatter, tyslatter.com for more sports updates. This has been GTA's ISO Mode, and until next time, take care.